by Malik Jibrail. فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب أن الله يبشرك بيحيى مصدقا بكلمة من الله وسيدا وحصول. The dua is better worship.
But that is an example, and he was Zachariah. He was not an ordinary person.
No.
Prophets are all example for us, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam, when was he father? 100-year-old. All his life he wanted. He was actually promised. Remember, his dua for his parents were denied. It's a big thing. It's a very big thing. The father of Muslim Ummah, his dua for his parents were denied. So what was the promise? He made dua. When did it come? At age 100. And he was surprised. Because at this age, what are you talking about? But what happened? Not only one, two. Then what happens? He has to slaughter all of them. You see how Allah works? So this test doesn't end.
Yeah.
Every test comes in the form of, are you worshipping our desire? Are you worshipping desire that was invoked by shaitan? Or I already had that hawa? Or I'm worshipping Allah? Because our purpose of creation is what? To love Allah, to obey Allah with love, happily. So where do you have room? If you have no child or have child, am I worshipping Allah happily? Now I'm very angry. So what the heck? What did Allah give me? Look, everybody has children, I don't have. So it starts, that's what I call, do the pathway analysis. All the way. Where is this emotion coming from?
Sorry,
Yeah, no
one more
problem.
question. A guy born in Africa, like in very poor family. He all the life he worked to find something to eat or like to continue the life.
To survive.
This is the qadr. Yeah. This is the qadr. Okay. For example, it's a very big imtihan like for him. Exam.
Yes.
All the life he's looking for them. And in this, for example, most of them go to America or to Europe for work for something.
Yes.
So this is, I mean, from the childhood, he was an imtihan, like.
Yeah, so but you mean that
What
there
I
was
mean-
lack of food? There was lack of food?
I am different than them, than this guy.
Mm.
Because Alhamdulillah, like I'm in a
So
Muslim
you're
charity
asking,
guy.
in case of poverty, are you supposed to allowed to emigrate?
No,
for better opportunity.
He just he is saying about the difference in exam schemes, in
Yeah.
exam papers. So one is Allah has given so much wealth to someone. Okay, with sons and daughters and
Yes.
buildings and all those things.
Yeah.
While the other is just from the childhood to his death,
Yeah.
is just trying to find some food to
for-
survive.
They are both suffering from
So
similar magnitude of test.
yeah,
If you have good children, it's a test. If you have bad children, it's a test. You see, you have a lot of money, it's a test. Don't have money, it's a test.
Yes.
And Allah said very clear in Surah Baqarah, Allah will test you with death, with lack of food, with hunger, right?
ونبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس
Fear. It's Allah says it, meaning it's true. So if you are facing more tests, you should understand that you are loved by Allah. If you have no test, then you should get worried. I'm probably gone. Not a single, that's why 214, I said, this was so severe. This was so severe that the Prophet, Baqarah 214,
214.
yeah. This was so severe that they were shaken. And even the Prophet, nobody has better iman than Prophet. They said, when is the help coming? And Allah promised it. Fa'inna. Inna means absolutely. It's qarib. It's coming.
Yeah.
So,
ألا إن نصر الله قريب.
yeah.
ونحن أقرب إليه.
So, if you use logic, everything will fall in place. And the logic is to take the full analysis. I have another example here with liver. You have heard this. In old days, they used to say best meat is liver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Liver, heart, internal body parts are the best meat. Remember that?
जिगर कदा इमाम
Alhamdulillah, we have enough time, sir. Just to clarify, to clarify has confusion. He was saying that, so Allah is Adil. We have no doubt in that. But when it
He
comes
is
to
not
exams,
adil in this world.
yeah, we consider it. See, we consider the opportunity in this world. So even we can say that the taste for the one who has been given so much wealth and sons and daughters and buildings and whatever may be more difficult than the one who is just trying to find food for her survival.
For sure, if you have more money, it's a bigger test.
Yeah, so that's the point.
Yeah. That's why many people deliberately choose, Tarbani or the famous
Yeah,
Ambani.
Ambani.
the hadith collector.
Albani.
Hadith collector.
Albani,
Sheikh
yes.
Albani.
Yeah.
He would work certain time as a watchmaker, right? You know that history? He used to work as a watchmaker. As soon as he has enough money for the day, he closes the shop, goes back to studying hadith. Right? So there is a wisdom in these stories. Prophet could have taken all the wealth, mount with full of gold he was offered, if you accept. It was not. People say, well, he was poor. At no time he was poor by Allah's choice. He was giving away.
These are the Kalamun questions. That the first one was Wasil ibn Atta, who was go out from the class of Imam Hassan al-Basri rahmatullah alayhi, and he was also discussing about such things. The Jabr and Ikhtiyar, these two expressions that are naturally coming in the human mind, but actually Quran answered this question very, very
Because
well.
we'll talk about this in the next part of, we're just criticizing the economic theories. But the next one, when you talk about real economic theory, and then I'll give reference to the book,
Also,
all
Allah says
will
that
come to place. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, no problem.
in Surah Mulk, Allah says, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم
Yeah,
أيكم
أحسن
أحسن
عملا.
عملا.
yeah, that's
وهو
it.
العزيز.
That's how I'll test. There is no exception. And no exception. So I would only add, the harder the test, closer you are to Allah. So if liver, simple question, is liver good for you or not? Right? Can you do that without pathway analysis? Do you know if it is hormone, antibiotic injected, the liver is the first one to be attacked, and as well as kidney. So literally, your liver will have all those chemicals deposited. It becomes the worst part, depending on the pathway.
This is a great problem to the fatty liver.
Hmm?
Fatty liver.
Yes.
Fatty liver and women.
So it's not enough to say, oh, liver is good for you or bad for you. You have to say how the liver comes to place. You have to do the full pathway analysis. It's true for everything. The skin of fruits. Most of the time, the skin is the best part. I don't know if you heard it or not, including onion. Onion skin has a lot of minerals. But if you are injecting pesticide, in hormone, and all this chemical fertilizer, that's the worst part. Because what happens to the body rejects and goes to the skin. So without full pathway analysis, we cannot have any decision. And the pathway, A function T, is called intangible. And that's our first book, is called Economics of Intangibles. I give reference to another term, deliberate schizophrenia. This is schizophrenia itself is a disease of brain, not heart. Deliberate schizophrenia is a disease of heart. Not heart disease, disease of the heart, meaning you have a problem. When Shaitan decided that I'm going to disobey Allah and I would want all the permission to live so I can mislead people, that's the craziest thing to do, isn't it? Like, what is it to you? What do you gain by misleading people? Isn't that crazy? Does it make sense? What did Musa, when he started, what did Musa do? Why are you attacking him? What is it to man saved you? And you're attacking him. Karun, what is the mindset that he set up Musa? Why? People who do that is called deliberate schizophrenia. We coined that term in the mental health book. The reference is there. By the way, I posted all these slides. You can have the reference. I decided that I will start posting beforehand so you can browse. You can have your questions ready and stuff. So, this deliberate schizophrenia, if you are faced with two choices, you choose the worst one, always. Even with bad, you choose, it's like choosing aspartame over sugar. Even with bad, you choose the very worst one. That's the deliberate schizophrenia. What's that?
The last sentence we didn't understand.
Aspartame, HSSA, remember?
Yeah, of course. But you said that when you face two choices,
You choose the worst one, more terrible one.
what is the benefit of this?
It's crazy. It has no logic.
Yeah, so
That's the condition.
yeah, this has been already discussed through that group. We can go back to the source.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
what
instead, bad guys, the deliberate schizophrenia guys,
Yeah.
would choose the opposite.
Yeah,
They would not even be happy with aspartame. They would find something worse, which
Yeah,
is coming
worse.
up. They are always looking for something worse.
yeah. Finally, death happens in
That's
very
right.
worse condition.
And he dies. It's still for sujood to Shaitan.
Yeah, but the natural way is to go back to the source,
Reverse it. Go back.
to the honey,
Always. Yes.
to
I
honey.
thought that you suggested to us that you should select the worst one.
Oh God, no. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is the Shaitan's scheme. Remember Shaitan's scheme? Shaitan will order you to choose the worst. Nobody thought about it, and in our book, first time, in the West, it's recognized there is a symptom. There is a condition like that. And so that's the disease no medicine can cure. There's no disease. I have relatives who are suffering from this. Nothing matters. She is the most angry at her father, then mother. Anybody nice to her, she becomes angry at her. Anybody nasty, she's very much in love with them. That's the condition. And in the West, that's the only disease, mental disease. There is no remedy. We give it a name. And we connect it to 4119 shaitans. They are completely possessed by shaitan.
So, but have you yourself think about that disease? So,
Not the
from
name.
your perspective.
Name, we give the scientific meaning to the name. Nobody knows. You see, as you know, in the West, source of disease is not known. They always tell you, well, I have no idea. Cancer, where did it come from? No. But we have a medicine. Because they do not do pathway analysis. If you do the pathway analysis, you can find the source. They do not have it. That's the shortcoming of Western science, that the science with dollar sign. So, what are the things we identified? It's the current model, right? Bone Israel model, calling out Musa for manslaughter to rejecting heaven. See, remember that episode? Musa came back and the guy he saved the day before said, what are you going to do, kill me again also? You see the logic? It's why? Why do you do that? It's crazy. Food comes from heaven, they say, we are tired of this food. That's the mindset. Totally crazy. Today, why are we paying money for drugs, illicit drugs? The most expensive material is illicit drug and kills you. Everybody knows. It's the opposite. Why do you pay income tax? You know, in the US, there was no income tax. Not too long ago. Now it's what? In Canada, it's almost 60% if everything included. They pay sales tax. Everybody knows if you have put sales tax, people will buy less. Isn't it true? That means economy will go down. Yet they impose sales tax. So the whole system, Shaitan has changed into crazy system. That's the point. So these are examples of crazy. Okay, this is the book, and the reference is there, 465, Economics of Sustainable Energy. Dubai is known to be very hot. What is the outside temperature? 45, sometimes it goes to 48. Very hot. What is the inside temperature?
Inside the
I've lived there for 2 years. 18. You wear a jacket inside. As a matter of fact, you have to wear tie. You just shiver inside. 18 degrees. Why? Shaitan has made us crazy. No meaning. Coming back to Canada.
very cool.
This is to my house. Very cold, minus 20, full of snow. What is the temperature outside? Minus 40, minus 20. What is the temperature inside? 25. You see, Emirate has 18. These guys in winter, outside is minus 20, inside is plus 25. Because you feel cold, but just looking at the window. No logic. Outside is full of snow. Inside the refrigerator working. What? Temperature is minus 20. Just put your stuff outside. No, we don't use logic.
What's the alternative?
It's coming up. Yeah,
Maybe
always.
I thought you want us to feel very cold and very hot.
No, you want it to feel natural, right? But I have lived in it. In this house,
You should
at no time I locked the door, by the way. Would go away for 2 months, we come back, it's the same. And all of the time, I think this might be the one When we came back, the door is so much snow that we could not open the door. The taxi driver dropped us off, and we had to dig our way in and struggle a lot. Then that night, my wife called the snow removal guys, and the morning they removed everything. I have never increased the heat myself over that. In winter, I would keep it at 18 because it's very comfortable to wear some clothes. Who wants to be naked in the house? There's no reason to have 25. So put it at 18 to minimize. In summer, we never used air conditioner. Even we were in Oman for 1 year. We did not use the air conditioner a day. We'll open the window and have it naturally. So personally, you can choose, but that's not our job. Our job here is to change the system, and that's why it's a research group. Has anybody taken any research methodology course anywhere in the world? No? You have not taken. First thing they should teach is logic. And that's why we're putting so much emphasis on logic. Again, mother of all dalala is, they tell you, human population is a liability. Is it true, Saif? Human population is a liability.
I didn't catch the liability. What does it mean, sir?
It's a burden.
Actually, no, it is not true. It is
Why it's not true?
because that the Western people, that the rich people, for example, we can say Bill Gates or other people, they
You are using inductive logic.
they're using that logic because they are saying that we have limited resources in the world and the population is growing
Excellent
up,
point.
and
Assumption, we have limited resources. Is it true?
it is wrong.
No.
Actually.
Why not? Because Allah has fixed the qadr.
Yes.
Your risk is fixed. There is nothing, no such thing as limited. Plus, you're not liable for it. It's not your job. Second, the most important one, Allah said, humans are the best. Allah said the only one. Only time Allah used his hand to create is Adam. And you're telling us, Allah also said, we are Khalifa, you're telling us that we are liability. That's deductive logic. Inductive logic is every time any nation considered humans as liability, guess what happens? In the West, it's not, the biggest crisis in the West is the population. In Dubai, 12% is the local population. 88% are foreigners serving them. Is this a nation? Human population is the biggest asset, but front page of United Nations. And which country they are showing?
Afghanistan.
Can you recognize? Afghanistan. What does it mean? Afghanistan's biggest problem is population. You humans, after they killed, how many they killed? I don't even know the number. How many are killed in Afghanistan?
22 million.
In which year?
2.5 million.
Millions, right?
2.5 millions from Russia.
Yes, millions. After killing millions, you're telling them that you human is the liability. And big example. So do you see how crazy it is? These are the examples of craziness. So if we have any akal, we do not revolt. So what are you talking about? Inductive logic, deductive logic, every way possible. And in the West, first child, you get certain money. Second child, you get more money. Third child, even make more money. Government pays you. In the West. And you're telling Afghans that liability, even Pope comes to Egypt and said, you should do birth control. Catholics are forbidden to do birth control.
Actually, there is the lack of workforce in the Western countries, like
Yes, of course.
Germany and
Yes.
America and some other countries.
Their biggest problem is that they don't have population.
Yes.
Yeah.
Biggest problem.
In the
What
coronavirus
about
time,
Hmm?
in the coronavirus time, in Afghanistan it was very low.
Yes, I know.
Mm.
I actually included that Afghanistan in my book.
They did, but
two-
it's not working. in Afghanistan.
Two regions were least affected, Africa and Afghanistan. In Pakistan, a lot of people died. And a lot of vaccine. Now we know it was a scam. How do you know? Even West recognizes, and they made the head of health department?
Yeah,
Robert Kennedy.
Bill Gates, and also Bill Gates told that we will control the 40% of population in
Yes, that's
this
right.
vaccination. They are controlling the population.
So it's very easy to detect, but it's very crazy. So we talked about it. Allah glorified humans by using his hand. It's the biggest honor. When you use our hand to make earning, do you feel good? No, we feel bad. Isn't that how it happens? Always. So, subhanAllah, you're a janitor, you're using your mop to clean. That's terrible. Better job is just wear your suit and work on the computer, mashallah. Have a good job. We have to turn upside down, akal. Doesn't stop there. And this is quite interesting because in 2007 we wrote the book. We found a cover page. You see the cover page of our economic circumstances. Again, this is the book. It is Afghanistan in 2002. US was publicizing that they were given a $200,000 pregnant robot for helping Afghan doctors. Those are doctoral medical students. What do you see? And that's why I put it in there. What do you see there?
They are discussing something.
What are they looking at?
Operation over a patient.
They are looking at a chart. Is anybody paying attention to the pregnant lady?
No.
No. They are supposed to learn how to give birth. That's what Shaitan did. Complete disconnection for any akal. The last thing you want is focus on something else. And they're looking at it. So these doctors will become robots themselves. They have no idea how to check pulse. They have no idea how to interact with the patient because the patient is a robot. And they'll take great pride. I don't know about this country. In Bangladesh, for instance, if you have money, you go for C-section. If you are rich and you don't know going to C-section, cutting, then you are a cheap guy. Everybody hates you. For your dignity, you have to go to the doctor and they cut it out. In Canada, it's illegal. It has to be a medical emergency. You cannot make an appointment to cut it. That's the difference. It was fashionable in Canada 50 years ago. In Bangladesh, it's fashionable now. Among who? The richest one. And that's why rich people never have more than two. Because they say with C-section, you can only have 2 children. So, Shaitan has destroyed the most capable section. Muslim country, rich, they have every resource. They are the one victim of this dalala.
So, if you look at Asian countries, like subcontinent,
Yes.
around 15 billion
Yeah.
population. So in reality, they are facing problems. So obviously they are facing problems.
Who? Yeah, we'll come.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
the Indian population.
No, they are not. You see, the problem of India, anybody knows? Half a million abortion. 500,000. They're killing. Why? Because they have this ultrasound. Is a girl killed. You see how shaitan works? It doesn't register. If your child is killed in the tummy, it's not registered as a death. So that's why they say, mashallah, the life expectancy has increased to, in Bangladesh, it used to be 21, by the way, and now it's 84. It's a great development. Because all the kill children, you do not include. In Bangladesh, I have cases where they take pills, it's called abortion pills. Married people, because, oh, I don't want to be pregnant again. So the killing, imagine, killing in Prophet's time, just one child after birth, you're killing. That was the epitome of operation. You're killing before birth. You don't even let the child see the world. So in terms of fasad, in terms of blasphemy against Allah, it has intensified. And it's not just India. Others are not simply having children. In China, as you know, what is the rule?
Yeah.
One per child, one per
One child
parent.
policy.
Now they have reversed it, apparently, but nobody is getting married. That's another problem.
So what I was trying to say, my point was, I mean that the problem of with large population is obvious. So I mean.
No, it's not.
But Ardullah
They-
was
Wrong.
That is okay. That is okay. But that process and that rule, that law, which Allah has, sent to us, is not obeyed.
the main problem is
No,
that.
no.
Yeah, that is the main problem.
We are
No.
not.
What is the problem?
Yeah.
What is the problem with? You see, take your own
Wealth is
assumption.
monopolized. Wealth is monopolized. Resources are in control of
If you
of
say
limited number of people.
population is a problem, what are you assuming? Where does the dalal start? Can anybody guess? Didn't Prophet say every child comes with a budget?
Yes.
Didn't Prophet say the biggest earning, the most, it's coming up, best earning is the earning of your son, children. Didn't he say that?
Yeah, my phrasing was not okay, but we can say that we can phrase it in this way, that the problems which is happening, with large population is caused by monopolization of resources, and
Problem is somewhere else. And this is why this graph is important, okay? This is exactly the topic. This is what they show you. I say, oh, this is not sustainable. That's why number one problem in UN is population. Number two is sustainability. Water. We'll get to that. Most valuable resource is human. They say this is liability. Second most valuable resource, water. See, water is a problem. That's how.
Indeed, it's a problem.
See,
For example, in Iran, it's a big problem.
you see, this is what I'm saying. Do you know the source of the problem?
Because the rain has decreased.
What is the reason?
It's maybe the manipulation of humans in the nature.
Because factories use
Yeah.
70% of the water.
Greenhouse
We'll
gases
talk about
and
that.
also-
Factories use 70% of the water. Agriculture, we have changed the system, and that's why the
Greenhouse
book I
gases,
gave you.
yes.
If you start to think, what is the source of the problem? You can solve that. And this is coming up. It's a very important point.
They say global warming.
Yeah, they say global warming,
Global.
forgetting that Same problem with humans. This is a human problem. No, this is not the problem. This is science with dollar sign. This their fear mongering.
But Professor, the
Yeah.
point is that you said that every child birth with its budget.
Come
Yes.
with it.
Yeah,
Rizq.
and that's right. But you mentioned that we have limited sources. The scientists, for example, Bill Gates, or I
It's not
don't
true.
care about Bill Gates or another thing, but the scientists or environmentalists say that our resources limited.
That's false start. That's
No,
why
it's not
important.
false.
It's
We
not.
have, for example, in pools, in mines, in
Yeah.
fossil fuels,
What
we have
is he doing
limited
with mines?
Please read.
resources.
No, please read. Please read the book. I have given you the book reference. Please browse through. We deconstruct each of these hypotheses. Each of them. They start by saying human is liability. They start by saying resource is limited. It's false. It's the unlimited in every aspect. I show the example of coal. I show the because I'm a petroleum engineer. I show the oil and gas. Do you know we are not even 0.1% of the total resource? More or even 0.1. They hide it for you. Hydrate alone has 1,000 times more than what you have everywhere. And what is hydrate? You can take the hydrate and burn right away. It doesn't need any processing.
If you want a weather of 18 degree and 45 degree,
Yeah, of course.
this will happen.
But that's not, you see, always attack the first premise. Say, who told you resource is limited? Right? Boom. You see that? No, it's not true. That's why I keep saying every theory, you have to. So this is the science. This is the real science. What happened here? What is the ratio we're looking at? What is skyrocketed? The ratio of corrupt and dependent. The percentage of corrupt and dependent people have gone skyrocketed. There are a lot more corrupt people now as ratio. Corrupt as what? The bad guys are very limited, but their followers has skyrocketed. Good guys were never majority, by the way. That's why Hannah is there. Good guys were never majority. Do you know any time where good guys were majority? Was it Prophet's time?
No.
No. Worldwide?
Even in that.
Even Abu Bakr's. Right? What happened? 100,000 collected. They were their guys. Even within the Khilafah,
Yeah.
they became bad. So Muslims, good guys, were never majority. But not as bad as this. That has skyrocketed. So source of the problem is not the population, source of the problem is the corrupt people, and the follower of corrupt people has gone up. That's the source. Same with CO2. It's not the problem because of carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is good food for plants. Because the carbon dioxide that is corrupted, because of the so-called artificial additives, is the one that has increased. You see the point? And that cannot be observed. So if you turn that around, you produce good guys, they'll be asset. So each of you become entrepreneur, nobody has to worry about your risk. You will not become a liability. And that's why ilm is the biggest qualification. Most money-making qualification is ilm. And we'll get to that, how Islam adds value to ilm.
So how the bad guys influence, the resources, the lives of other people?
That's what Dawalun always do.
I mean,
See,
how
Shaitan is the ultimate bad guy.
how it technically works, the process.
They
The bad
control,
guy-
remember we mentioned they control money,
Yeah.
right? Look around. They control money,
Yeah.
they buy politicians. So you spend your own money. Do you have a choice here? In a country, do you have a choice? What will be manufactured?
No.
We don't have a choice. They already decided, government is funding, whatever, your own money, your tax money, you have no say. That's why I say income tax is such a travesty. It's so illogical. You are paying money, and government is deciding for you to poison you. COVID vaccine, all these chemicals. Your money is going to the bad guys without any control, and you pay the money.
To purchase the goods they produce.
That destroy you.
Mm-mm.
You don't have a choice. In Canada, they wanted to pass a law that when it has GMO, this is organic, right? Organic is a stamp and it's a lot of money. And then this is, if it is GMO, it's not really organic, right? They say we want to pass a law where you have to say if it's GMO or not. That did not pass. That means you are thinking it's organic, but it's not really organic. Other big lies. Heat is a problem. You have too much sun. You remember they say global warming? It's a hoax. Water quality must be improved with chemical or radiation treatment. Complete falsehood. Then carbon is the enemy. Zero carbon is the biggest thing. Dr. Inus's big theory. Have you seen that? He wrote a book on 3 zeros.
Zero sugar, zero carbon.
No, zero carbon, zero unemployment, and zero something else. But zero carbon, what do you mean zero carbon? We do not have life without carbon. Right? Carbon dioxide is the enemy. Somehow, somewhere, it has gone completely crazy, the deliberate schizophrenia. This goes on. Even the definition of malnutrition, mortality, water quality, all of them are changed. Shaitan works with changing everything, including standard. What is the standard of akhlaq? What is the standard of human? How do you judge different humans? Based on akhlaq, right? What is it today? Whoever has a PhD. Who gave the PhD? Shaitan did, of course. So we changed the standard. So we lost from honey to sugar to saccharin to aspartame. It's everywhere. One of the biggest lie is if you borrow money from World Bank or IMF, International Monetary Fund, they tell you, I'll give you money only if you impose high interest rate. See? Themselves, their American interest is around 1%. But when they give to third world countries, it has to be 13%. Because they tell you, it's for your own good. Otherwise, they will not give you money. Completely illogical.
So the logic with IMF is, or the concern that they are suggesting you that you should,
They tell you that if you do not increase,
Yeah,
then
increase.
the inflation will go up.
Yeah, increase.
They forget another lie. Why do inflation go up? Do you know? Because it doesn't have the gold standard. There's no inflation here because your standard is gold. So they don't tell you that. They said more interest rate will stop the inflation.
But IMF is ensuring their own, aid.
IMF is the biggest killer. I was in Argentina. I was in Turkey when they got loan. They destroyed the countries. Destroy the countries. Argentina, when I went there, they even lost their currency. Do you know? They were using US currency at the time.
Inflation rate is the highest.
It's exactly.
250%.
IMF killed them. Turkey almost got killed. Then somebody had a sense and so we're not going to borrow anymore. Every country IMF got in, destroyed them. Question? No.
I remember they gave, I don't know how much money, that was during the previous government. I was in India.
Yes.
And I read the report they published on their site. So I couldn't find a single word which I could see was true. So all lies. That this
Yes.
government has controlled and all the things. There is no corruption, this and that thing. I don't trust IMF.
And you will not see the money ever again.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where the money goes. Do you know this is a fact? Statistic. Only 5% money is actually used. 95% goes back to the country through consultancy. They send a white guy and he does consultancy and give the money from that project. And that's the condition. I worked for those projects. I was in Pakistan sent with the CEDA project. Pakistan got $2 million. In return, they got $1 billion contract, telecommunications company, Nortel. Soon after that contract, the Nortel company went bankrupt. 2 million, they got 1 billion. That's the ratio. Literally. But more importantly, only 5% is actually working there. But how much interest do you pay? 13%. So they are not only giving you 5%, you're paying 13%. Who is paying? All the future generation, your children. So the most corrupt system you can have. And they're telling you, we're saving you.
So it means that they are not concerned about their own debts.
The countries?
No, IMF.
No. IMF gives money.
Yeah.
The country that gives the money, they get back 95%. Plus the bribe of the politicians. But 5% is actually used. But when they collect interest, they collect on the 100%. So for $100, you only get 5%, but you get interest of $13. Completely bankrupt. I would do this analysis in both economics books. Browse through it, just have a look how severe the problem is. So one of the biggest problem is economics one. They say third world has to have high interest, right? And look what happens to those guys. What happens to economic well-being? It goes negative. Loans alone make them bankrupt. For themselves,